never seen myself as just one thing, and I made sure no one else could either. By staying true to myself, making my own path, rising above expectations, and opening the door for others to be their true selves. The first spirit, made with VSOP Cognac, finished in bourbon casks. Martell Blue Swift, soar beyond the expected.
Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where in the world you are joining me from. I am 𝐿𝐿uminati, and this is the Crypto and Cognac podcast, as always, coming to you live 7 p.m. sharp every Thursday evening on YouTube. And fueled, lubricated, and inspired by my good friends at 𝐂𝐻𝐍. Tonight, I'm having me some Martell VSOP Blue Swift Cognac. And this evening, we're going to be talking about crypto and Carnival, right? It is Carnival week in Trinidad and Tobago. So I thought it only appropriate that we talk a little bit about how the use of crypto and blockchain might be able to improve on the Carnival product that we already have here in Trinidad and Tobago. As always, guys, the ICE rule. This is all about information, conversation, and education. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I share here should be misconstrued as being financial advice. So, with that said, let's jump right into it. When we talk crypto, I think a huge opportunity is missed by always only first considering the use case around payments. And I mean, that's understandable because, it's actually in the name, it's cryptocurrency. So we're always thinking about spending. We're always thinking about how we can create tokens, how we can make money. It's always about that monetary value around it. But for me, especially as I've gone about this Carnival season, I've seen so many opportunities to utilize cryptocurrency in the Carnival experience. And it's a little, what's the right word? It's a little sad to see that we're still doing things the same way we did them, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, as it relates to some of these events, some of these activities around Carnival. I mean, some of the things we're doing the same way we would have done them 50 years ago, you know what I mean? And I'll talk a little bit about that. But, as someone who works in that space, someone whose job is around working with institutions and individuals on bringing blockchain technology into their processes, I would really love to see blockchain and cryptocurrency used a lot more in our Carnival product. And it starts, I would say, from the very, very beginning, especially for people coming into the country, foreigners coming into the country. I think there's a huge opportunity here for the government in terms of putting out a wallet or creating a crypto-based travel pass in a way in which that they could track the people who are actual foreigners, and this could be done in the form of an NFT that allows people to, necessarily select which NFT is most suitable to them. So whether that be returning resident NFT or diaspora community NFT or a complete foreigner NFT. And that way, the government is able to collate the information around who is actually coming to our carnival so that they can then use that information to target the markets that they really want to target in terms of advertising, in terms of how they build the product around that, in terms, Caribbean Airlines, which is the national airline, can then use that data to determine, okay, most people are coming from foreigners coming in from Europe, most people are coming in from the US, most people are returning residents, most people are Caribbean tourists. And then they could then start deciding, okay, we're gonna put on more flights coming out of the region. We're gonna put on more flights coming out of New York or Miami. We're going to put on more flights coming out of Europe, because a lot of times just tracking the flight information doesn't necessarily capture that information, because sometimes people are only using certain routes because that's the only one available to them. So somebody might be coming from, let's say, Jamaica, but flying through Miami because there aren't enough flights coming from Jamaica, or somebody might be coming from, one of the other Caribbean neighbors, but because of the access to flights, they're actually flying to Miami or New York or Panama and then coming to Trinidad and Tobago. So just because we're seeing a certain number of flights coming in from, or a certain amount of people coming in from New York or Miami, doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the people are coming from. So I think, something like a travel pass would be very, very valuable. Of course, once you get here, payments is going to be a key part of how you interact with the economy around Carnival. It's very, very interesting and sad to me to see you go to parties, you go to fetes, and they are still asking you to go to a particular booth and pay for chits. Like, it's insane to me. We have phones that are waterproof and we carry everywhere. Even our money is now waterproof with polymer. But in fetes, even water fetes, they're asking you to convert to paper chits that could get damaged, or you could forget that you had them, take them home, wash them in your pants, as the case may be, or when you leave the event, you have no more use for it. And I find this is such a waste of money, it's such a negative experience for customers of these parties, especially for promoters who do multiple events throughout the carnival season. I think something like this, in terms of creating a special token that your events can use, that can be used across your different events, I think it would be so much value. And I think it encourages people to target your events, because let's say I bought 1,000 of, I don't want to promote anybody, but tranche carnival tokens, and they have 5 fetes and they have a carnival ban on the road, and that, what, if I buy $2,000 worth of tranche carnival tokens, I could use them at every single one of their events, and I could use them on the road. I could use them towards my costume final payment. So nothing is being lost to the customer by using this. Or we could have all the different stakeholders could come together, all the different promoters through the Promoters Association of Trinidad and Tobago could come together and have one token that can be used at every single event. And that way you're incentivizing people to move from one event to the next event, and not having to worry about carrying cash, not having to worry about whether Visa or MasterCard is accepted. And they can make purchases, drink purchases, bottle purchases at these events, maybe even use this token to purchase tickets. And for me, it makes so much sense, because from an infrastructural perspective, the cost for setting up something like that for the promoter is negligible. You know what I mean? All you really need to redeem those tokens is another digital device. You know, whether you use a laptop, whether you use a phone, and it makes it so much easier. Every single bar and every single bartender can collect payment, and it's all on the blockchain. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wasted. Nothing. You don't have to worry about how things are audited. You don't have to worry about counterfeiting. It's crazy to me that, you know, this hasn't not just not been thought about, that it hasn't been implemented, but maybe it's a knowledge gap. And, you know, I would love for the people who are in these spaces to, you know, seek out that information. You know, you could come to me, I can help you through it. In terms of costume collection, it's interesting to see costume collection still be a process that is heavily involves paper. You know what I mean? And then we have systems going down. We have, you know, all these different tech headaches, the printer not working, you know, all these kind of things. When again, NFTs solve this. You know, each person buys the NFT around their costume. When they go to collect, that NFT is burnt. There is no way of that person duplicating it. There's no way of that costume being collected multiple times. There's no way of skirting the system. And then there is no paper trail necessary because everything is there to track on the blockchain. So another no-brainer for me. And as we talk in Carnival costumes, let's talk about NFTs for costumes. You know, we have so many internationals coming into the space and want to take back some memory of their experience in Carnival that is tangible and that is, you know, direct from the band. And oftentimes they're not able to do so because, you know, these women who come in, they want the frontline costumes with the huge backpacks. It's not always practical for them to take these backpacks and these costumes back to Europe or America or Australia or wherever they are coming from to enjoy this amazing festival. But if they had an NFT that was issued by the particular Carnival band, that is always in their wallet 10 years, 20 years, 50 years from now, excuse me, they can show their grandkids. This is when I played with Tranche Carnival in 2023 Trinidad Carnival. And then if Tranche has a ban at Miami Carnival, they get an NFT for Miami Carnival. If they do a Labor Day, if they do Notting Hill, they get another NFT for each of these carnivals. And people are able to then collect all of these experiences in one place, in one crypto wallet. It's a no-brainer. The NCC with Carnival characters, we have all these Carnival characters that make up part of this heritage that is Trinidad Carnival, from, you know, the Blue Devils to the Dame Marine to the Stick Fighters. Why are we not putting out an NFT collection around these characters? You know, bring on board some of the top artists, digital artists or artists in the Trinidad and Tobago to create a project around these particular characters. We're always talking about we don't have enough funding for this event and that event. Why are we not using these innovative means to raise funds? Because on top of the number of people who come into the country, there are tons of people who want to participate in the festival but may not be able to afford the flight to come home and or get the time off from work to come home and still want to be a part of it. Why are we not doing something where they can be actively involved and can generate revenue around the carnival experience as well. Then we're talking about all the artists who are creating work around the space. We're talking about all the musicians, all the soca artists by chutney soca artists, by all these pan bands can be creating work, making it into NFTs, and creating a market for all of this for consumption throughout the world, because blockchain allows anybody anywhere in the world to participate. So for me, no brainer. Event tickets. Why are we still doing NFT? Why are we still doing paper tickets? Why are we still doing digital tickets that could be duplicated? And people are suffering at the hands of scalpers because they're selling one ticket 10 times, and only when you get to the door you realize, wow, I'm a sucker. This ticket has actually been used, or this person doesn't even own this ticket that they're selling me. NFTs solve that. A quick check to the blockchain by anybody could determine whether or not this person who is trying to sell you this particular NFT ticket actually owns it, right? And once that is transferred from their wallet to your wallet, they have no access to it anymore. No brainer. For me, it's crazy that we're still, talking about, oh, Bitcoin price is down, and the SEC said this, and bro, there is so much value to be derived from this technology just in this one little festival. I'm seeing tons of artists doing merch. Everybody is doing merch. Marshall is doing merch. Kess is doing merch. Nadia Batson is doing merch. Nyla is doing merch. But at the end of the day, from the time you put your merch out on social media, everybody knows what it looks like. So anybody could go and replicate your merch, print that print on a t-shirt and sell it anywhere, and say it's original merch. How are you verifying, or what allows you to verify that this is an original merch from Marshall Montano? Merch verification using blockchain. Easy, right? Again, when we're talking about, the travel pass, we're talking about the wallet with tokens, that one Carnival token, as the case may be, that could be used for rideshare. That could be used by, people selling around the savannah. That could be used by people selling on the road Monday and Tuesday. Because again, the infrastructure cost to set that up is minimal to non-existent. Everybody has a smartphone. We have 130 something % mobile penetration in Trinidad and Tobago as it relates to smartphones. We have a 30% unbanked population. So we have way more people who have smartphones than people who have debit or credit cards, right? So a shop owner who doesn't take links, they have a smartphone. They could take a payment using this Carnival coin. You know what I mean? It makes it so much easier, and then people don't have to worry about walking around with cash, walking around with their credit cards that could be lost. You know what I mean? You're gonna take your phone anywhere because you're gonna take pictures. Just use your phone to make payments. You know what I mean? And that's rideshare, that's street stores, that's street food. I mean, anything you could think about. You could integrate a gamification into that encourages people to go and check out some of the free events that we have all around the country during this period. Whether it's or some of the pay events. So you go to Panorama, you get a POAP, a proof of attendance protocol NFT. You go to Kings and Queens, you get another POAP. You go to Dimanche Gras, you get another POAP. We're talking about how Soca Monarch is dead. Let's incentivize people to go to Soca Monarch. So you go to Soca Monarch, you get another POAP. And at the end of the season, depending on how many of these POAPs you would have collected, there could be an airdrop that rewards people for the different events that they've attended. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But one of the areas that for me is maybe the most urgent in terms of need for implementation of blockchain is around the judging of these competitions. You know what I mean? Like it behooves me that we are still watching competitions, King and Queen of the Bands, Junior King and Queen of the Bands, Calypso Monarch, Calypso Fiesta, um, Panorama. We are still waiting till the next day to find out who won these competitions. And then these official entities that are putting out results can then pull it back and say, you know what, we made a mistake. That's the wrong results. That's insane to me. You know what I mean? If this is done on blockchain, each judge puts in their score on the blockchain. They can't take it back. Nobody can undo it, right? And immediately after that has been submitted and immediately after the final judging is submitted, we all know who the winner is. Like, you don't have to announce it to us. Yeah, we would like you to announce it, but you don't have to announce it because each and every one of us can go to the blockchain and see who has the most points, and we know that it was a fair judging system because it wasn't that the judges waited to see what their other judges put and then decide, oh, sure, I'm going to put him too. And then that person wins. That's insane to me. Why are we still doing that? People scratching out things on paper. What are we? This is not the 1950s. And as somebody whose father was a Calypsonian who felt robbed so many times in different competitions from national semifinals to Tobago Monarch, like, it's almost a no-brainer to me. And I think it's why so many people have moved away from these traditional events. Because if you're gonna participate in a process and then you feel like you don't really have a fair participation or fair representation in that process, you're gonna stop. Because if every time you feel like you've been cheated or they cheated somebody you were supporting, or you just went there as a casual observer and to your mind this didn't make sense to you in terms of the results, you're going to stop participating. So for me, in terms of bringing back that trust, bringing back people's interest in these traditional events and traditional competitions, I think it's a must that we move towards having all these competitions, the judging around these competitions, take place on a platform, a blockchain platform. Again, for transparency, again, decentralizing the input into determining who should win, who shouldn't win. We could even do that as it relates to the road match. Everybody's always saying, oh, this should be a road match, this should be a road match, this should be a road match. Let's choose the road match Sunday night. You know what I mean? Everybody who has bought a carnival costume for any carnival band that is registered with the National Carnival Bands Association gets a vote based on having this NFT based on your registration with that band. And using that NFT, you get a vote. And before Monday, everybody decides, okay, this is the song or these are the songs we want to cross the stage to. Easy. Monday and Tuesday, we already know who won and we already happy we're going to enjoy it. Instead of always having to worry about whether, the Carnival Mafia take over, or, some people who do participate in Carnival at all, they always have the loudest things to say. Oh, this person should have won and that person should have won. I was in all the fets and this song was the winning song. A fet is very different to road march, right? The stage is very different to a fet, right? So if you're not playing mass, stay out. And this is an easy way to have that executed. But I've rambled on enough, right? I didn't want to go too long. I know you guys have your fets to go to, but I thought it was super important that we talk about how crypto, how blockchain can be valuable in moving this season that we all love so much forward. So, guys, and look at no questions. Whole time I'm rambling on. How should we? Okay, I'm not seeing it properly there. Let me pull up this platform here. Sorry, guys. Just some technical difficulties, because I'm not on blockchain, I guess. So how do we get the government and private Carnival stakeholders to see the benefits of blockchain? Well, I guess that's where advocacy is so important. You guys know I'm a major advocate and agitator for crypto and blockchain in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm going to continue to do so, but my voice is never going to be strong enough. So you guys need to be having the conversations too. If you know a politician, if you know somebody who is on the board of one of these Carnival committees, whether it's Panorama, whether it's NCC, whether it's CUT, have a conversation, ask them, have they considered it? They could point them towards me, to have that conversation. Say, yo, I watch Illuminati, I watch 𝐂𝐻𝐍, right? He knows a lot about it. Maybe you all should have a conversation with him, because I think based on what he's been saying, there's value there. Do your own research, but at the end of the day, what we want is for them to start looking into it and looking at the viability of it. And for me personally, if these entities don't seek to use the technology, it's because they are benefiting from the inefficiencies that are present in the current system. Plain talk, bad manners. But like I said, guys, I don't want to keep you all too much longer. Please be safe this Carnival. Party hard, but party safe. Enjoy your Monday and Tuesday, whether you're in the band, whether you're on the beach, whether you're on the sidelines. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week, Thursday, for another Crypto and Cognac podcast. As always, guys, adoption is inevitable. Hopefully in Carnival, right? Illuminati out. Be blessed.